Turning a simple architectural drawing into a detailed illustration can feel like a lot of work. You have colors, people, shadows, and lots of small details to balance. So in this video, I'll show you how to create this architectural illustration in Adobe Illustrator step by step. I've been making architectural illustrations for a decade now, so I'll share the shortcuts, resources, and techniques I've picked up along the way. And near the end, I'll show you the simple method I use to add texture and depth. We'll start with the SketchUp model. These drawings almost always begin with a 3D model, and while I use SketchUp, you can use whatever software you normally work with. And then I'll use the position camera tool to place myself roughly in the center of this arch. It doesn't need to be perfect, just close enough. You can also use the zoom tool to adjust the field of view and look around if you need to shift the angle slightly. I'm trying to keep the horizon line around the lower third of the image, which usually gives a stronger composition. Once I'm happy with the view, I'll save it as a scene, and then I'll go into styles. SketchUp has sketchy styles built in, so in theory you could skip Illustrator and go straight into Photoshop. I think the pencil style looks great, however I prefer to recreate the sketchy effect in Illustrator, where I have more control over the stroke, color, width, etc. So I'll use hidden line style and update the scene. I actually made a realistic render of this space before creating the illustration, so the model already includes lots of small details and moments of life. For the Illustrator version though, I'm gonna hide most of them. It may seem like counterintuitive, but it's gonna save me a huge amount of time because coloring every tiny object individually would be such a nightmare. And we can always add those details back later with downloaded assets or elements that we draw ourselves. To update the scene, untick everything except hidden objects. Once that's done, I'm ready to export. Go to File, Export, 2D Graphic, and save as a PDF. At this point, you'll also want to decide on the final size of your illustration. I've decided to work on an A2, so I'm gonna enter the width of an A2 sheet in SketchUp just to give me the correct baseline for the export. If you don't know the dimensions, you can quickly look them up online. So in Illustrator, I'll create a new A2 document, name it, and then click Create. And then I'll drag the PDF straight into Illustrator. So I'll drag out a guide and align it to the center of the artboard because I want the door to sit perfectly in the middle for a strong central composition. And then I'll resize and reposition the drawing until everything fits and the door lines up with the guide. And because the PDF was dragged in, I need to click Embed, release Clip and Mask, and ungroup everything so that the individual lines become editable. And after that, I can delete the guide, go and switch on Trim View and see the base composition clearly. As always, I always like to clean my drawings a little bit. There were a few details around the curved arches and coffered ceilings that I couldn't model very neatly in SketchUp. But also, if you want to follow along, I'll have a cleaned up PDF of this exact drawing in the description box, so you can create your own version, and if you do, please tag me, I would really love to see it. Next, I'm gonna organize the layers. So I want to separate the line work into 3 main layers: foreground, midground, and background. Each will eventually have a slightly different line weight. So the elements that are closest to us will be stronger, and the ones further back will be lighter and thinner. It's a simple way to create depth in a flat illustration. And now I can clean up the arch and use the pen tool to redraw one side. I'm gonna eyeball the curve and hold shift to keep it aligned. And once I'm happy with one side, I don't need to draw the other one from scratch. I can mirror it. Here you can see I had the direct selection tool on. Instead, you need to switch to the normal selection tool, which is shortcut V. Right click, go to transform, reflect, and choose copy. How satisfying is that? Perfectly symmetrical. I wanted this illustration to have a strong classical composition inspired by Raphael's The School of Athens. I've always loved classical paintings, especially the little moments between the characters, the colors, and also the story aspect of it. Back in Illustrator, I'll press Ctrl A to select all of the line work and change the stroke to a dark navy. I think it's more interesting than black and makes the illustration feel softer. And then I'll adjust the line weight. So the closer something is, the thicker the line. The further away it is, the thinner it becomes. Now for the very back layer, I can't go much thinner than 0.1, so I will lower the opacity instead to push it further back. Now for the colors, I found a muted pastel palette online that I really liked. I also use a workaround with the live paint bucket, which I shared in my previous tutorial. So I select all of the line work from different layers, copy it, and then hide the original layers. The lines, I'm gonna paste it into place on a new color layer because live paint can merge everything together, and since I've already organized the line work, I don't want to have to do it again. Shortcut K for live paint bucket and start coloring. You may get a few warnings because the line work came from SketchUp and it isn't always perfectly clean. I usually just press OK and continue, and from there I can use the eyedropper tool to sample from the palette and paint. I'm not too strict with the color palette, to be honest. Sometimes I'll just add colors of my own that I feel would work with the color palette. And if I need a darker version of a color, let's say this yellow, I will open the color picker and move down diagonally to get a darker, more saturated version for shadows, while still staying in the same color family. I also like to add a few strong colors for these illustrations, like reds, navies, and yellows. I really like those pops of primary colors. It makes the illustration bold and fun. Once the coloring is done, I select the live paint group with the selection tool shortcut V and click expand. And then I ungroup it until the colors and line work are separated. I can delete the duplicate lines and unhide the original line work underneath. And now we have all of the colors without losing the layer structure we set up earlier. And now we can finally create that slightly sketchy hand-drawn look I mentioned at the beginning. So I'll select one of the line work layers and go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Roughen. And yes, it looks a little crazy at first, but trust the process. First, change it from corner to smooth. For size, I'm using absolute at around 0.3, detail around 30, and look at the difference. It is subtle, but those perfectly straight digital lines now have a little texture, a little movement. For the other line work layers, you don't need to set up roughen again. Just select the layer, go to Effect and choose Apply Roughen, and now everything just has a lot more character. Now at this point, I started adding clutter and little signs of life to the illustration. I didn't actually record it because it was mostly trial and error. Some things I drew myself, others I traced or found online. You'll also notice I have the appearance window open because I genuinely forgot what I had applied roughen to and what I hadn't. So you can select any object and check the appearance window to see exactly what effects are applied. And this is where I got even crazier. Now going back to the School of Athens, one thing that I absolutely loved was that every character seemed to have their own moment. They're talking, they're teaching, they're reading. Nobody is just filling space. And I wanted that same feeling here. The problem was I couldn't find an architectural people pack that did that. Most people were just standing around, and I wanted something more diverse and specific to architecture. You know, architects, students, men, women, and even more recognizable architects. So I ended up making my own. And yeah, it took a long time. And I don't think you need to do it for every illustration. But, you know, this is my job. I love creating packs, so naturally, this is what I did. So I created a whole pack of people with different poses, interactions, and little architectural moments. They are designed around architecture, but you can easily use them for school, university, workshop, or any creative or educational project. Now at this point, I was pretty much done with drawing things in Illustrator, so it was time for me to move into Photoshop and finish it there. I'll create a new Photoshop document, A2 size. I already have an A2 preset saved, so I'm just gonna use that. Go to File, Place Linked, find the Illustrator file and place it directly into Photoshop. The great thing is that the two files stay linked, so if I want to change something, I can go back into Illustrator, edit it, save, and Photoshop will update automatically. It's been a little bit slow here, you know, when you're trying to show someone a cool trick. And there we go. So some of these people need masking, and masking in Illustrator is so much more annoying. Photoshop definitely has this nailed down. So I've brought all of the people, grouped them together, and now I'm masking them out. It's a very surgical procedure, but luckily, because we have these flat areas of color, it's very easy to make selections and mask things out. Although this guy was really annoying because of the chair and the way that he's sitting, he needed quite a bit of cleaning up. But just double check your line work afterwards, because sometimes you'll select the fill but not the lines around it, so you may need to fix those. Next, we need to add all of the drawings to the walls. I'm not being too fussy here. I am finding any drawing online that I like, bring it into Photoshop and place them. And once I'm happy with them, I can merge the layers, set them to multiply, and erase any areas overlapping with the people. Now the problem is that because these drawings come from different places, none of the styles really match to each other or to my drawing. So here's a trick that I found. Go into Filter Gallery and choose Cutout. This simplifies the image and gives it almost a vectorized look, so it fits much better with the Illustrator artwork. Now I usually keep the number of levels around 7 or higher so we don't lose too much detail. And because the drawings are black, our line work is navy, I'm gonna use the hue and saturation to push them towards the same blue tone with this preset. Immediately, it feels so much more cohesive. Now I kept adding drawings to fill the wall. These red ones, I actually used a different filter called Stamp. It gives it a more bolder, more graphic result. It is the same process again though. Merge, clean up the edges, and keep building it up. Photoshop gave up on me. My scratch discs were full. And to be fair, I had Premiere Pro open, I was screen recording, Illustrator was open, Photoshop was open. So if this happens to you, you just need to close some of your programs. Now for the drawings hanging from the ceiling, I wanted them to follow the perspective rather than look like just flat images pasted on top. So I would roughly resize the drawing and then use Free Transform to line it up with the perspective. And because the surface is curved, I'd switch to the wrap and bend the images until it followed the shape of the artboard. It's a very small detail, but I really think it makes a big difference. The drawings just feel like they belong in the space instead of just copy and paste. And now we are basically right at the end of the drawing. I am so excited. I just need to give the illustration some shadow for depth. Technically, I could export accurate shadows from SketchUp, but I honestly couldn't be bothered. So we're doing a very simple version. I added a gray layer underneath the illustration, which shows through all of the uncolored areas. And then I can erase the gray from the areas facing the light, bringing those sections back to white. And just like that, we have simple blocks of light and shadow. They don't need to be perfectly realistic, they just separate the form and they add depth. And finally, this is the technique I mentioned at the beginning that really brings everything together. I always get comments on how I added grain and texture. This is how. So go to the top of your layers panel and press Ctrl, Shift, Alt, and E. This creates a stamped copy of everything onto one layer. You need to convert that into a smart object and then open Camera Raw Filter. I keep this really simple. I mainly add a little grain and vignette. The grain gives the flat color some texture, but you can't really see it in the empty white areas. So I add 2 more textures on top. First, it's a paper texture set to multiply. And then like a pencil or charcoal style texture set to overlay. And with the opacity lowered, look at the difference. It gives the whole illustration that tactile, slightly imperfect quality. And that's it. We've gone from basic SketchUp model and line drawing to this final architectural illustration. I really hope you found it useful, and let me know what you think of the final result. Please give it a huge thumbs up, and if you made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for watching. You're a star. Please leave me a book emoji in the comments so I know that you made it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rasha Shururu, and I'll see you next time.